People are nosy, Brooke. We're all nosy. Humans are nosy. And that works in our favor on social media because the minute somebody sees us comment somewhere or somebody shared something we have, they're going to click our name and they're going to land on our space, which is our profile. And if it's a turnoff or not clear, or your audience or that nosy person just doesn't see anything there for them, they're not even going to scroll down to see what you posted. Mm-hmm. We're talking like a nanosecond.
Hey, Authentic Influencers. I am so excited today to have Heather Quizzle Brown with us. And she is someone I've been following you, Heather, for probably at least a year, probably longer than that. And I have loved watching your whole journey, and where you're at now is just so amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Well, for those of people who don't know who you are, I would love for you to kind of tell your story, because you have an amazing story and have been through so much. So I would love to just have everyone know about all your awesomeness.
You're so sweet. Today, I am a business coach and strategist for entrepreneurs, business owners, leaders who use social media as their main marketing tool. And I teach organic and paid strategies, but organic is more fun. And who doesn't want to, market their business for free? And social media is such a powerful way to do that. So I teach people how to turn their profile into a magnet, and generate leads on autopilot. And I got into this work, interestingly enough, through direct sales. I am a preschool teacher, first and foremost. That's where all of my schooling and education went into. But like a lot of moms, I had children and I wanted more time at home and I wanted all the flexibility, and direct sales is a great place to do that. And I jumped into direct sales with no clue what I was doing and no business running a business, but I was determined. I saw these women making full-on careers out of this, and I was like, that's what I want. And that's what I did. And in the course of doing that, I saw a lot. I got frustrated, I would say, like a lot of people. I got frustrated in that space, and I didn't know how to use social media, and I didn't know how to sell without feeling salesy or pushy. And I wanted, I don't know about you, but give me a metric of money to chase down, and I will chase it down just to see if I can do it. Mm-hmm. I just want to see what it would feel like to do it. And so I was very motivated in that way. And so anytime I would struggle with sales or marketing or using social media or making new connections, I just learned more. I took courses, I hired coaches, I did all the things that you should do when you take business seriously, and did that. And at some point I started to I would call it I was getting a calling, there's more for me in this world than direct sales. There's more I want to talk about. There's more I want to share. There's more I want to teach than just how to sell this package of products. And I stumbled into this world of online marketing and ClickFunnels and branding yourself and sales funnels and all those things. And I was like, whoa, what is this? And somebody teach me how to do this. And in the same way, I fumbled my way through that space. And here I am. And I'm able to, I now don't do direct sales anymore. I was able to sell my position almost a year ago, and I'm still running my life my way. But I figured out a couple key things in the online space and marketing your business and branding you. And I have a lot of fun teaching people how to have fun running their business and love using social media, but do it in a really natural, authentic way, which is what we're all craving.
Oh, I love that. That's just beautiful. So first, I want to talk about creating, setting up your profile, because I actually had someone message me and they were very angry about the way that I was teaching people how to set their profile up, because I teach people don't put your network marketing company on your profile, because it's not about your company. It's about you and building that personal brand. And she was like, I just don't agree with that. And I'm like, okay, you go be you, but I would love to hear what are some of the tips that you have for people to brand themselves on their personal profile.
Yeah, no, and I'm definitely in your camp. Although there's a time and a place. There's always like every once in a while I'll get a client who I'm like, you know what, this works for you.
Right.
The thing with network marketing is it's a beautiful thing because it's a one size fits all, and like anybody from any background can take it and do what they want with it. But the downside of it is it's a one size fits all.
Right.
And if you're not careful, you sound like everybody else, and that's where it's like, wah, wah. I've heard this before, right? This is basically what your audience is thinking of. It's not for me. I've heard it before. Everybody sounds the same. And in sales, in marketing, in business, if you're not standing out, what's in it? Like somebody can buy something from you, but they're not going to be committed to you if you sound and look like everybody else selling the same thing. And this is why we want to stand out. So when it comes to the profile, I actually teach a 5-point system for optimizing. And I feel like people are nosy, Brooke. We're all nosy. Humans are nosy. And that works in our favor on social media because the minute somebody like sees us comment somewhere or somebody shared something we have, they're going to click our name and they're going to land on our space, which is our profile. And if it's a turnoff or not clear, or your audience or that nosy person just doesn't see anything there for them, they're not even going to scroll down to see what you posted. Mm-hmm. It's like, we're talking like a nanosecond. And so having that optimized visually and with the right clear message, everything. So that's where if you're just putting like your company affiliation or this is what I sell, most people instantly pull out because that initial message basically says, I'm here to sell you. And this is exactly what I sell. There's no creativity in that. And people are savvy. They want to be entertained. They want value. They're constantly asking what's in it for me to follow you. And if they don't see it.
Exactly. I'm right there with you. And so like one of the things I teach everyone is in that little part, I don't know what it's called, but I'm like underneath your profile picture, you can write a little blurb, like tagline about you.
Yeah.
And like, that's where you put your I help statement. Like, who is it that you help? Because then people are like, is that me? And can you help me with that problem? And I notice this when I get friend requests, because I get a ton of friend requests. Like I look at what do they do? And they don't do anything or anything that's even like related to what I want. I'm like, I don't even want to be your friend because I don't know why you even want to be friends with me,
Yes, that's so true. I think Facebook calls it the about section, maybe the bio area. And that is one of your biggest pieces of real estate. And it's the most critical, like written message that we could possibly put on the interwebs. And when you nail it, people stick around. When you don't nail it, that's where we run into trouble. And a lot of people struggle with nailing that. Everything that we write really has to, while I always tell people, like, while your profile is about you, actually has nothing to do with you, right? It should have everything to do with how you help and serve your audience. And so that one bio, that one about sentence really has to be power punched into the benefit that somebody gets from following you, working with you, what it is, like the desired result. Everybody's looking for results. What can you give me? Are you going to teach me how to lose 10 pounds by tomorrow? Are you going to help me, get leads on autopilot using just Facebook? Are you, going to help me parent without tears and tantrums? Those are the kind of statements that help people go, oh, that's what she does. That's how she can help me. And if I'm not a parent, I'm not going to need you. That's one of the most critical pieces of real estate on a social media profile.
So one of the other things that you're really good at is coming up with content that is authentic and it just flows and it becomes easy to create that content. So how do you help people be able to tap into their authenticity to be able to create content?
This is something, Brooke, that just eluded me for so long. I got into business and I started using social media and all I'd been taught was essentially how to make commercial after commercial, right? Buy this, message me, let's chat. And number one, like it worked to an extent.
Right.
But it wasn't fun and it just didn't feel good. And so then I just found myself like staring at my phone, trying to come up with something really catchy, to get that next customer. And I started like searching, for like, how do you like actually attract people to you? Cause I'm like trying to like, get them, just going to get this next customer and this next client. And it wasn't working that way at all. And so then I started to spin on like, there has to be a way to like draw people in, because what I did know is when I sat down with people one-on-one, or just like shared life experiences or what I was learning or, what I was good at, like when I just talked to people one-on-one, I was super successful. So how could I like take that into my profile? And what I found was that most people, like I was, are doing it all wrong. So we're focused on what is the message that's going to sell the next product. What we should be doing is focusing on building the platform. I talk about this a lot with my clients. And the platform is a mix between the social space that you're on, Facebook, Instagram. It's a mixture of that with your voice. And that is what you speak about. That is who you are. Mm-hmm. It's not your company. It's who you are. And then the mix of the audience. So an example of this would be like, I could right now, I've got a window right here outside my office. I could go stand in the middle of the street and speak my magic. And, I could speak for a half hour out there, but how many people would hear me? Maybe a couple people walking their dog accidentally, right? And that's what a lot of people get stuck into is like, I'm speaking on social media, but nobody's doing anything. That's because like nobody's hearing. And so there's twofold. We have to learn how to speak the content. I'm going to get to that in a minute, but we also have to like build the audience. Like we have to bring the audience, and there's work involved in that. But what I've always done really, really well is work on building the audience, AKA more eyeballs on the stuff I do, right? Because if I don't have enough eyeballs, I'm not going to have enough interaction. But then how do I create content that actually like people want more of? And what I started to find was when I practice like just sharing, I call this just like sharing from your own body. What's in your own body that you've read, you've learned, you've experienced, is your zone of genius or your expertise, like just speak that and watch what happens. And the really cool thing is any human that just speaks from their own body, they get interaction, they get feedback, they get positive engagement, because people love to see other humans like doing their thing. But how does this translate to business? Because this is where it gets all messy. People are like, okay, I get that, Heather, but like, I need to sell this product. The platform works when you gather people because you're speaking your truth, you're speaking your magic, you're speaking what you know and you've experienced, and it draws people to you. Now they know, like, and trust you. Then you give them an offering, whether that's your network marketing products, your business opportunity, coaching services, your CPA track, whatever that may be. Now they're more likely to buy. Those conversions, those sales go up because they are connected to you. But most people in business want to completely skip that part. They just want to sell stuff. But we're finding it doesn't work. So to create content that just comes out of you, we are endless creatures. Give anybody a microphone, they'll talk ad nauseum. Well, right? Anyone. But we have to get in that practice of doing that on social media instead of overthinking and trying to just recreate.
Yes, absolutely. There were so many great things that you said that I loved, because this is the part I think, especially in network marketing, everyone skips. And really, this is the foundation of any successful business, regardless of if it's network marketing or if, like, my husband and I had a car dealership a while ago, and like you had to do that because if you just talk to everyone, like I couldn't go up to all my friends and be like, hey, I have this new awesome car. Do you want to buy it? You got to talk to the people who are actually looking for that kind of car, and you're going to have a lot more success when you do something like that.
There's a lot more that goes into just marketing and selling a business than most new business owners are led to believe. And coming from direct sales and coaching and teaching in that space for over 10 years, I'm wildly aware of the messaging. And the messaging is, you don't have to work that hard and you can have a six-figure, nooks and crannies, and you can have a six-figure income, and just post online and people will buy. Just call your friends and tell them and they will buy. Well, that works for like the first 3 months. But now you've got to like go meet more people. And that's where you like the upper level, the more sophisticated concepts of marketing and branding and sales have to come into play, because it isn't enough to just stand out in the street and speak. It's also not enough to just do a live video. Like that's not going to bring leads to your door. I'm sorry. That's what you've been told, but you and I both know it doesn't work. But like, what is the strategy for bringing new eyeballs to the game? You know, what is the strategy for creating content? What kind of content are you about? What is your voice? You know, what is your strategy for connecting with people in DMs and Messenger? Because there's a strategy for that. And it doesn't go sales from the first connection. And so there's being somebody who's been in direct sales for so long, and many of my clients are in that space as well. There seems to be this big disconnect, and that's something I'm really devoted to helping network marketers understand, is that it can't just be sales all the time, or number one, it's not fun for you and the sales don't come, right? And everybody wants to be on a winning team. We all want to make the money. We all want people to love and adore us. Well, why don't we just focus on like serving people, then worry about the product sales? But it seems to be so counterintuitive that people don't trust it.
Well, if you could leave us with one last tip, what would that be?
Oh, this is such a good tip. I've kind of alluded to it already. Like the best way to really build a following and a presence online is to share like stuff from your own body. But it's also seems to be the scariest, because we wonder, number one, is anybody going to care? And number two, what does this have to do with what I'm selling? But that one change can make all the difference. And the other thing is optimizing your profile, so that when you do speak, when people come back to your profile, they'll stay longer. Then you can start to connect with them through posts and DMs and things like that.
Well, if people want to know more about you, how is the best way for them to connect?
Such a good question. So I'm a Facebook girl, and my personal profile is where I mainly play. So it's Heather Quizzle Brown. You can also catch me on heatherquizzle.com as well. And if you are somebody who's like wanting to understand how that 5-point optimization works with your profile, you can go to heatherquizzle.com/challenge. And I run one of these each and every month to teach you those steps in that strategy.
There's so many great things that you have shared with us, and things that I'm going to go check out my profile and see if there's any way I can optimize it too.
So good, Brett. Thank you so much for having me.